Alrighty, just waiting for the captains to say ready. It looks like they are, so we can start the game now. Don't forget to put your open mic on, by the way. Hello everybody and welcome. This is Southern Cross Dota Tide Season 3. This is day 2 of our events and we have Low Priority Kings versus Pandemonium. I am the Spectre. Joining me is Daredevil Dan. How are you going today, Dan?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm looking forward to Swift getting owned. I mean, that's why I'm here,
Radiant's
really.
ban.
But yeah, I've never seen Low Priority Kings play. I've played with 425 a couple of times, so I know kind of his play style. In a pub anyway, so it could just be completely different. We've seen Swift play a few times, and most of that team really, especially in the SCD versus Dota is Hard show match under the stars thing that they did. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good game. Of course, if people do not know, Pandemonium are kind of the Dota is Hard team. Project Swift, who is Panda Swift, of course, is the founder of Dota is Hard, or one of the founding members at least. So, a great guy in the Australian community. And I think they have a website going live soon. Although I think it's been going live soon for the last couple months. So, you can always join in to chat in the Dota is Hard channel. There's also a guild. So, if you go to the Dota is Hard chat channel and ask for an invite, you can get added in. But this game so far, first pick Wisp from Pandas.
That's a pretty ballsy first pick. I mean, we've seen them play Wisp before, and they do have a really good Wisp player. I'm trying to remember who it is. I think it might have been K or Car, but I'm not 100%. But Lifestealer and Elder Titan picked up straight away after that. So finally seeing some Elder Titan in the Aussie scene, as we don't get to see it much, but it is being picked up more and more nowadays. And it's a very strong hero. I prefer him in mid than the offlane, depending what sort of tri-lane he's against. Just because he can get shut down really easily, depending who he's up against. But against a Wisp tri-lane, he should be okay.
5 seconds.
Just because a Wisp tri-lane is generally a bit weak.
Yeah, it's generally not a killing tri-lane unless you get something like the CK, as well as, you know, some sort of ranged damage dealing support. I don't know what you would really put with it. I'm kind of thinking Visage, but he's already been first banned by Pandas, so we wouldn't really be seeing that. So I guess Pandas have a few choices. They could pick up the CK now, or they could try and get low prio Kings to basically waste a ban on it. It's not necessarily a waste, because you should be trying to ban out that CK if you can, but they can kind of leave that till a later pick if they decide to, because, you know, Wisp can still combo up with quite a few heroes very effectively.
Yeah, definitely. And Wisp, I like to see with things like PA and Ricky as well. Because of the Blink Strike, you get the tether stun off, which is pretty nice to see. Just that easy stun getting off. CK obviously does do it pretty well as well. But CK bores me with the Wisp because it's so normal. Even Tiny I prefer to watch, because Tiny obviously is insane. It can go very differently with a Tiny. You can either super farm him. We've seen things like Argonin picked up in like 12 or 13 minutes on Tinies, or you just roam the map and just dominate. But they picked up the OD now as well, so looking to win that mid lane, maybe forcing someone else to go into the mid, but banning out the Razor now as well, so they won't have that. Other things I can get to go against him, kind of like the Kunkka, the Viper. ET would do okay, I guess, but he won't be able to spam at all.
Yeah, would heavily rely on bottle crowing, and as soon as you hit that kind of level 3, level 5 mark, where OD's just going to have so many stacks of Astral Imprisonment on there, it won't even matter if he's bottle crowing, because he won't even have the mana to cast it. So I think it wouldn't be the best idea to put him in the mid lane. I know some people have tried putting the Life Stealer against OD, and again, he does okay, but when you hit around that level 5 mark, OD just hits way too hard with the stacks of Astral Imprisonment. And they still have the Kunkka in the pool, They
10
chose to ban out the
seconds to go.
Clockwork instead of maybe going for that Kunkka. Lone Druid also still in the
5
pool,
seconds.
who's generally more of a little bit more of a
Radiant's
greedy
pick.
pick because you want to get the farm up as well as harassing out OD, but still very viable.
Yeah, if you've got a lone druid player, you can win that lane, hands down. But only if you've got a really good lone druid player. An average lone druid player, well, an average lone druid player will lose it, and a good lone druid player will do okay, but
Dire's
you really need
pick.
someone very good on it. I'd actually really like the Viper pickup on this lineup to go against him. Because Viper can very easily solo out the Wisp in team fights. You just click him like 3 times and he's dead. But I think they could last pick their mid very easily. I don't think they need to rush it because there are so many options, and we see the Alchemist picked up now to go with that IO, and they knew that they wanted that next assassin, so automatically picking that up next as well.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the Alchemist within this certain lineup. He does require so much farm, and at the moment they have a lot of early mid aggression. I mean, Lifestealer, you know, basically the king of mid carries. If he manages to farm up, or if they manage to kind of aggro against the Alchemist, which they can easily do, I think, with the Rubik and Nyx, Wisp isn't the best hero to have with an
10
Alchemist in a
seconds to
defensive
go.
tri lane. It's just generally Wisp isn't
5
great in
seconds.
tri lanes. He offers the tether stuns sometimes, but unless you're, you know, a Chaos Knight and
Reserve
making a lot of
time.
use of that Reality Rift tether stun combo, it's not that great, and Wisp is just so squishy. Starting off with 0 armor, I mean, to that point Rubik does as well, but with no reliable stun, it's hard to disengage your carry from a fight, apart from some bonus movement speed from tether.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, I have to agree with the Alchemist pickup. I don't like it. I don't really like Alchemist as a hero or in any lineup really, because, well, except with the Darkseer. I give him the Darkseer. When you have a Darkseer and Alchemist, it's insane. But it's I mean, Elder Titan ruins Alchemist because he doesn't have any armor to begin with, and it's just 0 until he
10
has
seconds
an
to
Assault
go.
Cuirass.
Well, I don't know. I think that kind of works for
5
them, though,
seconds.
because Alchemist will be getting something like the Assault Cuirass, which isn't minused by natural order,
Radiant's
because it's
banned.
bonus armor, not armor gained through stats.
Yeah.
So I think maybe picking up a strength carry like the Alchemist was a lot better than, you know, picking up something like the PL or Luna or, you know, one of the agility-based
Dire's
carries.
ban.
I
But I
would
think
have still preferred a CK there, even over the Alchemist.
Yeah.
But they've got the Darkseer now, so now I like the Alchemist.
and they'll probably last pick a Jakiro, knowing Pandemonium. It's one of Liz's favorite heroes, and having a vacuum into
10
Ice Path,
seconds to go.
into Alchemist Stun, into OD Sanity's Eclipse. It's a big team fight
Radiant's
if you
pick.
can get it. And Pandas do last ban out that Viper, so if low Prio Kings were thinking of it, they won't have it available. The Kunkka is still there, but that's putting a lot of melee heroes on the side of low Prio, with only the Rubik being ranged at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
the puck is still available. He could jump in and cause a lot of problems in this lineup that would rely on
10
kind of those
seconds
chain
to go.
abilities. So, yeah, he wouldn't be
Actually-
a bad pickup.
5
I actually
seconds.
would like them to go an aggressive try. Just chuck the Elder Titan mid to gain the levels, and put either a puck or a quap in a
Reserve
safe lane
time.
farming role. I think that could work out very well for them, because Pandemonium aren't going to go aggressive. Not with an Alchemist Wisp. It's pointless. You don't farm your Alchemist, and Wisp is useless on an aggressive try lane. But they're going to get the Timbersaw for mid.
Dire's pick.
He relies pretty heavily on his mana though, so maybe not going mid, maybe going solo safe or solo off with the ET mid.
We
But those two heroes can switch really.
We might even see something like the Nyx Assassin mid with an Elder Titan as a puller and stacker with Rubik and Lifestealer in the lane and Timbersaw as an offlaner. Just because then you can get levels up on the Elder Titan and some experience
10
from pool
seconds to
camps.
go.
The Nyx does quite well against OD. You can throw out that mana burn and really
5
do some
seconds.
damage and spike Carapace when you can. And we do see the Jakiro last pick from Pandemonium, but I think that it'll rest a lot on how well the OD is played in the early game for how well Pandemonium do.
Yeah, and especially how well that Alchemist farms, because if Alchemist doesn't farm, he's dead weight. Except with a sort of Darkseid Jakiro, even if you just land that stun after the vacuum ice path, you've almost killed the whole team anyway. I think a lot's going to come down to the carapace as well, because if he can get that off and then their combo's already flying, it's going to hurt a lot. So that'll help, and Timbersaw obviously very good in team fights as well as Elder Titan, so I think I give the team fight definitely to Pandemonium, and they can bring the Alchemist and the Wisp on the back end of the fight, or even bring in the Darkseer, just for those, emergency vacuum walls out of nowhere, the Alchemist in trouble, vacuum wall, and Jakiro Ice Pass from out of nowhere, and you can really surprise them, but Lifestealer's got Rage, so he's pretty safe from a lot of the ganks, so we'll have to see how the team fights play out. I think that's majorly what's going to choose this game.
Definitely. So to get onto the teams, on the side of LPK, we have 425 on the Elder Titan, Martin on the Timbersaw, Hung on the Lifestealer, Bammies on the Rubik, and Vsop on the Nyx Assassin.
And over on Pandemonium, we have Swift on the OD, Car is playing that Wisp, EJ is on the Darkseer, K is on the Alchemist, and Liz is on that Jakiro.
So they're playing it... Ooh, let me just check here. We do have sentries on the Wisp, so that's okay. They will also spot out any kind of rotations in here. All 5 of the heroes up at this top area, they know they need to get the lane ward down, as well as a little bit of vision. Liz is coming through the back here.
I would have actually really liked the Super Greed from Alchemist this game, and gone into the lane with nothing. Because they weren't going to aggressive tri-lane against them with the 2 melee supports. It's just too hard. And with some regen, you basically get a Midas in 2.5 minutes if you get a first blood. And I've seen it done, because my brother did it. And he got one in 2 minutes and 18 seconds with 10 last hits and a first blood. And that's all you need. And you just get a Midas.
That's all you need, just the first blood on an Alchemist with nothing and 10 last hits.
But it's not nothing, because you've got a stun and you've got 2 supports there.
True, but I don't know. I think that would be an extremely lucky way to start a game.
Super greed. But you can also do it with like 15, 16 last hits as well. But the Timbersaw is going to come up here, so it wouldn't have been the best idea.
We actually have Nyx Assassin sitting in mid. He's going to help out kind of in this early game. Maybe throw out a couple of mana burns. He hasn't skilled anything just yet, so Swift is going to have to play it a little bit safe in these early levels.
Yeah, and Liz now just on that Jakiro, just zoning Timbersaw out. You really don't want him to get anything, because once you want to leave the Alchemist, Timbersaw can kill him if he's got the levels. If your Timbersaw's level 6, Alchemist is pretty darn easy to kill.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, we do see the mana burn coming out from Vsop, but he takes a lot of right-click damage from it. We're going to see the Spirit thrown out by Elder Titan. Still level 1, so we don't know how he's going to go with that skill build, but generally in mid you see kind of a 0-4-4, or even maybe a kind of a 1-4-3. But
yeah, I do like the 0-4-4, but I think 0-4-3 is probably the best way to go. Just so you have one level of Echo Stomp to do something, but Swift now sitting on no mana mid, so basically Nyx can go now.
Yeah.
Just clear off, do something else.
He got OD'd.
Yeah. Or try and get level 2, which he does have, and get in there and get a kill. It depends what they want to do. Do they want to kill him, or does he want to go pulling in? He's just going to protect the rune for now, while using the mana pot. Yeah, and with less to tell while you mana pot, it's pretty handy.
Yeah, exactly. He can also... The rune is unfortunately going to spawn top for him, so it is a regen rune, would have been nice and handy. But they're going to know it's there, and Elder Titan's going to get it back with his bottle arrived as well, so he's going to have a nice and handy regen rune against there. Meanwhile, Darkseer didn't even go into that off lane. He's sitting here at top at the moment, sitting at only just over level 2, so a little bit of a slow start here from EJ.
Yeah, pretty slow, but I mean, it's definitely not the worst he could be doing, and he does have to. He may be getting those unlucky creeps, but that's a big stack sitting there as well. He's got a double stack. It does just look like more. Actually, no, that's a triple stack. I couldn't see one of the oaks.
He's killed
it's like
one
hiding
of the...
under the centaur.
Jeez. Unfortunately, smoke ion shelling doesn't work anymore. If only. We're going to see a stun go out on El Martin, followed up by the Ice Scythe. They need to get the Wisp Tether stun, just didn't get in range. So maybe a missed opportunity there, but Martin also with the 1 level of Timber Chain has no points in reactive armor actually, so was able to get away there.
Yeah, and Alchemist actually not building greedy either. Going for the 1-1-1 build. I'm not sure if I agree with this. I think against the Timbersaw, if you got your supports there, they're just going to pull, get levels. You might as well go greed. Because you're not going to kill Martin, as we just saw. If he stays pretty safe, he's got level 3 now. So 2 levels in Timber Chain, you're not going to kill him.
Yeah, I think he could have easily gone for a 0-1-2 and then maybe got the Acid Spray after. Like, because you still want at least 1 level of stun, but then you kind of want to put priority on Grievel's Greed as well as the Acid Spray to kind of farm a lot faster during this early mid. And so far, you know, a 1-1-1 spread isn't terrible, but he could have played it slightly greedier with that 1 point and put it into gold before throwing it into acid.
You gotta be a greedy player when you play Alchemist. You either go full man mode, get no greed, and just go in all the time, or you just play greedy. But he's got 1-1-2, so it's the same as it would have been. Maybe just missing out on, what, 100 gold tops? So,
tops,
not really a big...
Not too much, and Swift is really having a hard time in this mid lane. Just gets up his 600 gold. He's got a magic stick to try and combat the spells being thrown out at him a little, but sitting at only 150 health, and he's not very happy here. Elder Titan sitting at 25 for 2, and OD only at 11 and 8, so with some great support play, you know, Nyx has really been doing a good job, and Nakes sitting on a Helm of Iron Will, didn't decide to go for a Midas build, which I definitely think he could have done. He's had free farm down here, sitting at 35 and 8 at, you know, basically 5 minutes into the game, but chooses to go Armlet first.
Yeah, I think getting the Midas, you don't actually really want this game to go super late. I mean, it'd give him the levels and it'd give him a bit of a mid-game advantage if he could get it up really quick, which he could have, but I do prefer this way of playing the Nags, getting ready to fight very early.
We are going to see a failed initiation up on top. Unfortunately, the stun's coming out just slightly too late, and 425 I think is just going to be happy to sit here and farm. They don't necessarily need to get a kill on the OD. Of course it would help, but you know, he's just going to sit here for now and just be happy with the farm he's getting. He's currently sitting on 1,000 gold as well as having his boots and bottle and still all of his starting tangos as well.
Yeah, and this OD is getting shut down completely. Sitting on 13 last hits to the 33 of an ET, just with that Nyx being there. And Nyx is still a level 3. And at 5.5 minutes, you've got a level 3 and a level 4 support against, what, a level 3 and a level 3 support. Their supports are doing better, and they've left one mid to harass the OD.
Darkseid.
And all the...
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything is basically just going downhill for them at the moment. EJ... sorry, not EJ. Yeah, EJ has gone to the bottom lane to kind of put a little bit more harass on Hung. It has slowed down his farm quite a bit, I've got to say. Like, he's only got about 8 last hits in the past 2 minutes, so definitely playing a little bit of tricks on him. And dropping low on health as well. That double ion shell damage is so painful early on.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the Midas can come into play as well. If you really need to, you can Midas one and jump in the other, but, you know, it all depends what you want to do. But getting the pot now, and he's pretty much back in full health, and Darkseid is gone, so he'll have free reign here. I think one of the other things that we need to point out is that both these carry players, one's sitting on 27 last hits, and one's sitting on 49. And they've both had free farm.
Yeah, K at the moment getting up that Hand of Midas, so it's going to be a 7-minute Hand of Midas, not the best timing by far. And do you especially want to go this greedy up against a Nakes kind of Elder Titan Rubik Timbersaw, where they're all kind of mid-game oriented fighters? I mean, they can all still go late, so, you know, it's a great draft, but we're going to see LPK Martin going in, might be able to pick up Car here. In fact, K dropping very low. He's going to pot up, but Car also low. LPK Martin grabs the first blood, and we're going to see him run after. Will he be able to catch another one out? Lisbeen will be able to run away. But we have an offlaner picking up the first blood.
He could have actually gone for another kill there. when he went up to those trees on the side, he could have crossed over to the other trees and gotten the kill onto Kiro, but playing it a little bit safer. And he knew that he could get a kill when they dived him. This is one of the powers of Timbersaw, and now he's a level 7 against an Alchemist who's level 6. So if you leave this Alchemist now, he's doomed. Because Timbersaw can force him off lane whenever he wants.
Exactly. He has gone for a very greedy build as well, going 3 points into the Greevil's greed, so he can't try and harass him back with Acid Spray. He's still probably just too weak to make his jungle kind of efficient at all. We're going to see Bammies coming, going to lift up the Rubik and miss out on the Haste Rune. Bammies grabs it, going after Car now, who might be in a lot of trouble. Swift needs to come in so he can tether, which he does
nice
do.
tether.
Luckily, getting over the Roshan pit as well. I've seen some horrible ones where you get stuck just on the other side. And then it's even worse because you're all the way up here and you have to run back past them and around the other side.
Or if you get the old first hit bashed by Roshan as you're tethering through, that's depressing.
The number of times I have been first hit bash as a Spirit Breaker, trying to charge to another lane.
Charging through, first hit bashed, and it just ruins the whole gang.
It's like, come on, Roshan, that's my job, buddy. What are you doing?
What are you doing, Rosh?
I mean, even with the farm that Lifestealer has, he's sitting at around, what, 250 gold with most of his armlet? Does he have the rest coming out? He's got the recipe on the courier. So all he needs now are the gloves of haste. So he should have it in about 250 gold. Which he should have in the next wave in a bit. So he's going to be getting phase armlet at around 10 minutes. Which is, you know, a pretty decent timing.
That's damn fast. But he's had free farm. He's on 400 net worth. Gold per minute, sorry. And Alchemist is on 300. And that is not what you want to see. He's sitting at 71 last hit, so... He's missed, like, what, 7 or 8 last hits this whole time? So he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. Just, you know, what is it, 82-82 at 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think it's 82.
Yeah, and he's sitting at 77. So it may have been supplemented by a jungle creep or two. Not too sure.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal, and usually it's the big one.
Timbersaw is going to be timber chaining away at top. Car got surged but doesn't have enough for a secondary stun, so they're going to have to just disengage.
Yeah, and one of the things is you really want to push Car to get that level 6 early, but who do you kill? Nyx Assassin, once he's got Vendetta, you can't kill him, unless you carry, you know, Dust and he doesn't get a good carapace off or anything. ET, tank. Nyx, Rage. And Armlet. I mean, it's... With an Alchemist, I just don't feel like Wisp is at his best.
Guess what's happening?
Because Alchemist doesn't really own the early game.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. They might be going for a backstab on Swift. We're going to have Nyx coming in. The stun comes out. The mana burn as well. And that's just an instant kill. The natural order doing so much damage, especially with that spirit getting thrown out. OD just getting nuked down hard.
Bottom towers getting the business.
Yeah, nice gank there. Getting these few kills up, and Nyx also taking down that tower down bot and getting the last hit. So he just picked up his armlet, got another 1,000 gold. And do we see him maybe go back for a drums to get the mobility up even more, or just now go for a basher?
Well, he could go for a basher. He could even go ultra mid game oriented and go for the S and Y, go for race car Nyx. It has been done a few times, but it depends how he wants to go. I mean, the Alchemist did go a Hand of Midas, and he should try and really, really make him pay for that. Do we see him just go straight into something like a Desolator?
Yeah, I was about to say Desolator would definitely work well in this. Even if he gets that bonus armor, all his base armor is going to be gone, and then -7 on top of that. You know, you pick up an Assault like, yeah, I'm tanky now. Oh, I'm not tanky now. So, it's a pretty big down buzz.
We're going to see a smoke gank down here. Nyx comes in, the open wound's already thrown out. The mana burn as well, and Car's going to get blown up. EJ tries to come in, but it's just too late, and this Alchemist is not faring well. Rubik picks up the kill, but an assist for Hung.
Top towers getting beat down.
And they're basically doing everything they need to do at this moment. Low priority queue.
Tower won't last
Just
longer.
Just really outplaying Pandas at the moment.
Fortified their structures.
Yeah, and we're gonna see Hung getting that basher up, sitting on the Javelin on the courier. And it just feels like Panda are in a corner right now. They can't do much right now, and their team doesn't kick in yet. They need the mech, which is going to take forever because Swift got dominated against the dual lane mid. Darkseer has basically... Where's all Darkseer's?
Oh, we're going to see a surge in, and Swift gets exploded. The ultimate comes through way too late. It was already dead after basically just the stun. Rubik didn't even need to use Fade Bolt then. That's kind of the extent of it.
It was the ult to secure, man. But yeah, like Darkseer's got Tranquil Boost Soaring. He's got 64 last hits, but that's it. Does he have anything on the courier at least? A magic stick and a TP. So no mech coming out from Darkseer. Odie's just died again, so he's not going to be getting it as well. And Ka, he's a wisp. Yeah, he's got nothing. He might get an urn eventually, but that's about it. So
Yeah.
they're definitely looking on a back foot right now.
He's got the level 6, but it's not as scary as when you get a level 6 with a CK where you just go ganking around the map. Like, if you go through with Alchemist, you can maybe start channeling a stun before you relocate, but you need such good coordination to do it, and even better to actually make something of it when you're this far behind, so... It's going to be very difficult for them. I mean, if we look at the experience graph, it's 4k in favor of LPK, as well as the gold being almost 7,500 ahead at, 15 minutes in.
Yeah, and Hung now sitting almost at his basher. He's got 2 components. Bloodstone getting closer for the Timbersaw. Obviously, it's not going to be the fastest because he was zoned out quite well at the start. But then given that kill, and it's sort of been looking up for him since then. So still needs the Perseverance and the Vitality booster. So it'll take a while, but maybe by the 20-minute mark, and then you sort of see the Bash is done, the Bloodstone's done, maybe even a mech's done, which my guess would be ET, yeah. ET does have
he's
the
got
mech.
it.
Yeah. So everything's falling perfectly into place for LPK as Panda is sort of struggling.
Top towers.
Yeah, I think what they need to do as soon as the mech comes, I mean, he has drums as well. You have all of these early game items. The Basher now finished up on the Nakes as well. I think they could honestly just pick a lane and push down it. There's not too much counter push that the Dire have at the moment. I mean, the best sort of thing they have is 1 level of Dual Breath and 1 level of Acid Spray. Maybe you put Ion Shell on one of the creeps, but that can either be infested out or just kind of right-click
Next
down.
by a Sentry Ward. Nick's actually showed himself there, so K gonna click that ulti and run away.
Oh,
Gonna
but
find
Swift
Swifty,
runs
though, at
into
the
it.
end.
The stun goes out, but he knows that the stun's being challenged, channeled rather.
Oh, the tether broke.
And he's gonna
The
stun
tether
himself. A nice little attempt at a play, but it's gonna run out just before he goes. That's unfortunate.
Nothing's going Panda's way this game.
Sop's just going to turn right round after the imprisonment. Swift in a lot of trouble. A nice tether there. One more shot needed, and that Sanity's Eclipse did basically nothing. A Stomp's going to come in and miss. The stun comes out, but the mech just in time to keep Vsop alive. And now K's in trouble. He's going to get imprisoned, but too late. Rubik managing to pick up the kill. Now the Chakram coming through. Lisbeen trying to run away, but gets imprisoned by Rubik. The Stomp comes out. Big damage, and it's a triple kill for the support Rubik.
That's a carry Rubik now, man. No turning back. Get a Desolator. Carry Rubik. I want to see it. It's a thing. I'm making it a thing right now.
I can tell you from vast experience in bot games that Rubik is one of the worst supports to carry with.
Lame. But he's got his own stun.
I know,
Oh.
but his projectile is just so terrible, and it's not even helped out by Hand of Midas Mjolnir. I mean, what can you do with a hero like that?
You gotta support, man. That's all you can do. But yeah, nice engagement. Triple kill. I mean, they probably would have liked that on the Lifestealer or the Timbersaw to get him that Bloodstone. But there's no problem with the support picking it up, really. You're still getting the kills, and he can get his Blink Dagger and 100 gold. Or maybe go for the Force Staff to help his team a little bit more, but I think the range on the initiation you get from the Blink is superior to a Force Staff on someone like a Rubik.
We're going to see a relocate gank coming in here. Alchemist has 1 more second to throw out the stun, and Ice Path is going to be put down as well, but just too wide. The imprisonment thrown out by the Rubik defensively. LPK gets shot down as well as the Darkseer falling to the stomp. A double kill for Martin, and this has been turned completely around. It's gonna be almost a team wipe. OD comes out. It's a triple kill for Martin, and a complete team wipe just for the Knicks.
Not really much to say to that. They got caught out. It was a decent relocate, and the stun came off, but they couldn't kill him in time. They were just that tiny bit off from killing him, and then it all went south.
Yeah,
and there's just so much damage from LPK right now. They're so far ahead. I mean, XP's 12,000 and gold is 14,000. It is so hard to get a kill when you're that far behind.
Yeah, and it's not like it's, 14,000 at 50 minutes into the game. This is at 18 minutes in. That gold is an insane lead for this point in the game, and I mean, what do Pandas do? They're all sitting in base at the moment. They know that they can't come out. They don't have any sentries around the jungle to spot out that Nyx. They've got some obs up, but, as soon as the Radiant purchase up a gem, they can just walk through, and then Dire have nowhere to farm. So, Alchemist still only has the Hand of Midas and Treads. There's been no item progression at all, so...
He's too scared to even farm his small camp in the jungle. He's just putting an acid spray down to try and get the extra gold. Not even going to get the experience.
And they're basically farming as a full team, and I think even if they are, I think they still lose that fight. So at this point, I think if you're LPK, you just take down Roshan because you can very easily. Get up a Desolator on the Lifestealer, and then pick a lane and push to the throne. You don't even need to get 2 racks. You can just go straight through.
Yeah, I think it takes a while to take a throne. Like, you just take 2 racks and then slowly in the game, but they can definitely take this game right now. Panda are going to have to do something amazing in order to stay in this match. But I'm looking at their team and I'm like, yeah, they can get the vacuum, ice path, stun, OD ulti out. But if there's a Carapace or a Rage from Lifestealer, that doesn't work. That no longer wins you the game. And they'd have to do that 3 or 4 times to come back into this on a sort of an even playing field.
I think it would need to be 3 or 4 times plus buybacks to kind of come back into it. And if you think about it, even if they do all die in a team fight, if they just buy back all of those kind of big ultimates, the wall is gone, the Sanity's Eclipse is gone, and you can't really defend. It's just very, very difficult. I mean, right now, the Radiant are going to start taking down Roshan. He is almost dead now. And it's going to be an Aegis on the Lifestealer. They instantly smoke up as well, so maybe looking for some blood in this this top jungle area.
Yeah, and I think when you see the Roche go and you're on Pandemonium right now, you just go back into base and just chill. Just have a relax. I mean, Swift, he's in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
But he'll be able to get back. He's got a TP, so he's just going to sit there. He's like, well, I don't really need to get back to base right now. And I can't do anything. You're writing danger zone on the map, aren't you?
Danger! Gotta be careful, Swift. But we are going to see 4 grouping up in mid to push. We're going to see a TP back from Swift. The high ground is going to be breached by the Spirits. He's going to go for a bit of a fishing stomp. And that's something that you can do as Titan. We had Noxious on earlier talking about that Elder Titan pickup that they use so effectively to basically kind of assure their spot in the upper bracket in Devil's Playground. And
the Radiant got one.
You can just kind of at this point when you have this much mana, you can just throw it out and go for a fishing hook. Like you just throw it out there, go for the stomp. If you can get it, it's great. If you don't, well, it doesn't really matter too much. Just pop a bottle charge and all good. If you manage to get off a stomp, initiate. If you don't, just do some more attack damage to the tower. We're going to see an Imprisonment come out, as well as a Macropyre, and this is basically just to kill off creeps at a safe distance.
Creeps are scary. But, yeah, and one of the cool things about ET is, with this Ancestral Spirit, you can send it out, and when it starts flying back, you can still use the Stomp. So you can catch people off guard. They're like, oh, it's leaving. You know, we can get in there, we're fine by it, but it starts stomping and it's quite hard to get out of its range if it was right on you.
Well, we're going to see an imprisonment come out. The Spirit's coming forward. They need to be careful. Wisp is just going to be able to get out of range, so not too bad right now.
At Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah,
And
this is
Martin.
just a slow siege. They don't have to rush right now. They can just slowly do it. I mean, Nags is on pretty low health, so he's just going to invest in
Radiant's bottom tower.
max
in a
health
pretty
instantly.
sight right now.
That Nakes. I mean, he even had an Aegis, so possibly not completely necessary, but at the moment they're just 5-manning. They're not kind of too concerned about everyone getting experience and then just winning from attrition. We're going to see a 2-man stun come out, but it's nothing that they can really come forward to initiate on. The mechanism comes out from 425, and they're basically back at full health, but I think the only thing I'd like to see from the Radiant that would be a bit better is instead of just all 5 being here, because they're just throwing creeps at each other right now, is have Lifestealer pushing out one of the other lanes, get a little bit more coming through for them, and then have the other 4 sieging, because you would get more experience, more gold, but we're going to see a nice double stomp plus sleep. 2 are going to drop instantly, the Ice Path comes out, we're going to have a buyback from OD, Car's getting caught out by the Timbersaw. He gets stunned up by the Tether Stun. Kay's trying to do as much as he can, but he's just dropping to the casual skills being thrown out by Martin. Bammies might go down, but he escapes with 10 health. Gets away. Martin's trying to run now. Swift is right-clicking as hard as he can, but Hung's coming forward. Gets the open wounds off, and he's just right-clicking Swift. The Abyssal Blade as well. Lizbeen trying to do as much as she can, but this is going to be the mid-racks, and that's a buyback and death from Swift.
Ain't around no more.
Yeah, he did the dieback, and now they have no OD ulti.
We're going to
They've
see a
got really
relocation coming in. The stun getting thrown out. They want to get LPK. They want to get at least one more kill. They're trying their hardest. They managed to drop him down. The Waller comes down as well. But a nice bash from Nakes. EJ will go down. A double kill for Martin. And Wisp goes back. They're trying to kill off Hung, but they're not going to be able to do it. Age is still intact.
Yeah, and he's sitting on 2,400 gold now as well. He can go grab a Hyperstone if he wants. Or just like something like a Demon Edge to go into a Monkey King bar, just more damage. It doesn't really hugely matter, but they got the melee racks down, and they got a few kills in there. He's actually going to infest into Sop on this next assassin, and they're going to go right in.
And Car's going to be very sad in a moment. Out he comes, instantly goes down. Nick's actually picking up the kill there, and Lizbeen going down as well. Swift is going to come in, throw out an imprisonment, but there's not too much that he can do. They could honestly just turn around with one spike carapace and kill him. Of course, OD's projectile speed quite slow. It's pretty easy to carapace that if he gets a little bit too greedy with his right clicks.
Yeah, definitely. And Alchemist now has a Shadow Blade. I mean, K getting the Shadow Blade isn't going to change anything in this game, I don't think. BKB might have.
And the stun coming out on Swift. He's still alive because he got off the imprisonment, but now going down. A nice vacuum into triple stun there on the side of Panda, but their tower is just going down. Car's trying to keep him out, but there's not too much they can do. The Ice Path is going to miss all the major players. Bammy's taking quite a lot of damage. The Stomp is going to sleep a few of them. Hung needs to use this Aegis. It does get popped with 25 seconds left on the reclaim timer. Nick's Assassin managing to pick up a kill, and Kay needs to run away. The Surge is going to help him run a little bit further, but here comes Martin. Takes down Kay, and this is going to be a second Rax. Car going down as well. A nice vacuum wall combo there into Jewel Breath, but EJ dropping low. A double kill for Martin. A Stomp's going to come out, hit on no one. And another nice bash there for Hung. And
they're just giving out so many items. It's just like items.
Feed your courier, Pandas. Feed your courier. But that's going to be a good game. 25 for 4. The final experience around 25k in favor, as well as almost 27k in favor of LPK. It's basically 1,000 golden experience per minute, and just an excellently played first game by LPK.
Yeah, fantastically played by them. I think Panda definitely had the skills. We could see the vacuum, the stuns coming out later, but they lost that early game so badly just by that OD getting stomped in mid and Alchemist not getting enough. And then Alchemist is so easy to shut down, and maybe a different carry pickup could have changed that game, but LPK definitely playing well early on.